Tell me a secret of love. Do. How I know. Oh, pause. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling, fun Friday. Yes, it is a day of fun. I've been listening to a lot of tunes today while I've been working, except for when I had to be on the phone. I, of course, turned the tunes off. But it's been a very fun day. So what fun did you get up to today? I had a blast working. I got to be creative a little bit today, making some funny little things, designing some stuff. Yes, didn't get to do it as much as I wanted to today because I had to work. But drove my lunch break, and for the last 40 minutes, I think it is, 30, 40 minutes, because I worked a little later, I got to get creative. So, and I have a dear friend who I sent them to and says, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And she's going, that's good how it is. Change this, change that. You know, and so it was really good. It's good to have a friend like that you can send stuff to and go, what do you think? So what fun things did you get up to today? I've just been having a blast all day. And I've been very careful. Yes, Zeffie's watching me closely. I've been very careful because this is Zeffie's chew toy that I gave her earlier today. As you can see, there's just a few little tooth marks on there. But she brought it over to me and tucked it in next to my leg here on the seat. So I have been watching it. And every time I got, problem was every time I got up, it fell on the floor because I kept forgetting it was there. And do you want to come up? Come on. Come on. Come on, Zeff. Good girl. Good girl. Come here. Sit down. Good girl. I don't know. Is the camera picking you up? I don't know. I can't see. No. Look. You're a little out of the picture there, sweetie girl. Hang on. And we'll turn that down a little bit. Can we see you now? There we go. Okay, we can go with that. She does not like being on camera. If you go check out my Facebook story today, Facebook story, that's how much she hates being on camera. But, you know, you gotta love them. You gotta love them. That photo was actually taken yesterday for National Dog Day. I thought, can I at least get a decent picture of you? And so she just laid there and looked as interested as she possibly could. So yes, what fun things have you got planned for the weekend? What fun things did you get up to today? Let us know in the comments below. And your tell your story question of the day. Oh, I do have to. Did I tell it this morning? So yesterday was very interesting because once a month I have a mastermind call at 5:00, and it always goes for at least a minimum of an hour, a maximum of whenever we stop talking. And last night was one of those whenever we stopped talking things. And by the time we finished, I looked at the clock and I was thinking about doing my live right there and then. I thought, no, let me take Zeffie for a walk. She's been really patient. And so I got up and I thought, I'll come back and I'll do the live. And I even have my journal sitting here. And this is my journal for my calls. Well, this is the one that's currently in action. And I had it sitting down here on the desk so it would remind me to do the live when we got back. So we go for a nice long walk. We come back, and I am so hungry and so thirsty because it's so hot outside. It was still 3 digits outside when we went for a walk last night. For those in New Zealand, high 40s. And so I was dehydrated. I was irritable because I was hungry. And Zeffie was kind of picking up on that. So I made sure she had plenty of water and food. I made sure she had that before I left. So I got out the coconut water and guzzled a lot of that down and then started getting dinner ready and cooking it in the air fryer. And so I was able to take the edge off. And then I was didn't even come and sit here at the table and ate. I went and sat in my recliner and ate last night. And I did come here and sit. Oh, that's right. I came here. Went to sit down. The journal was on the table to remind me to do my live, right? I picked it up. I moved it to the side, sat down, ate my dinner, finished reading 3 Times Removed, which is that genealogy mystery I've been telling you guys about that I've been reading for the last couple of weeks, just little bits here and there. Really, really good book. Really good book. But it was one that captured me from page 1, but it wasn't strong enough to keep me sitting in place and reading fully. There were some parts that were like, oh, gotta go do this, gotta do this. No, let's just finish the chapter and see where we go. Near the end of the chapter, so, oh, we're just gonna read the beginning of the paragraph. And of course, I go to a different century at that point, and so it's like, damn it. So there were some parts that were like that wanted to keep me reading. So, and I have it here on my laptop. Not my laptop, my computer here, and so I can read it. And the one I'm reading right now is supposed to be some really funny book, and it's kind of funny to start with. And it is, what the heck is this thing called? It is called, it's something about pork pies. Pork Pie Pandemonium. And it's about this guy that is a retired police inspector, chief constable. He's up there in the ranks. And he's got this dog. He's got a dog called Rex Harrison, who got kicked out of the police dog academy. So when he said he wanted a dog, they offloaded this dog. He got kicked out of the police dogs thing because of his bad attitude. So sometimes you're hearing things from the dog's perspective, and sometimes from the main character's perspective, which I totally cannot think of his name right now. And so they've just started. I've just started the book, and they're in at a pork pie place, and he's decided that his wife's passed away. He's retired. What can he do? Let's go for a trip around England and do a culinary experience around England, and discover traditional English dishes and learn how to cook them. So he's going to places that are like mom and pop places that serve the food, but also have like a culinary school attached to it to come in and learn how to make, in this case, pork pies. So they're in the classroom there, and the meat's been put out in front of everybody, and all of a sudden one of the girls starts screaming because there's a thumb, that's right, you heard me, a thumb sticking out of the meat ready for this thing. And it's just like sitting on top of the thing because while everybody else is out in the other room while they're waiting for the police to arrive, our main character, I wish I could remember his name. What's his name? I don't even know what his name is. He's just Albert Smith. That's right. Albert Smith's Culinary Capers Recipe. Yes, it's the book one in a series of Albert Smith's Culinary Capers. Albert Smith is the former police person, and he's got this ex-police dog with the bad attitude. He's even got a service dog vest for him so he can take the dog anywhere with him. And it's like I'm only on to, I don't even know what the chapter numbers are because they're not numbered, they're just named. They are named chapters, and I'm like, how am I supposed to know when I'm near the end? Or I'm getting close to the end, and maybe I want to allow a little time to read because we're almost at the end of the book. Yeah, you can't do that. So Albert and his dog Rex, or Rex Harrison, yes, named after the actor who did Dr. Dolittle, and because they were going through the phase of all the dogs that came in at that time, they were giving them actor names for a particular period in time, and they said this one got Rex Harrison from Dr. Dolittle, and so it's got the point where they've discovered the thumb in the pork pie meat, and so everybody has been taken out of the classroom and are in the cafe area of the building, and Albert and his dog go back in. Well, the dog sniffs at the thing. He's already figured out where this thumb came from by the smells on it. He can't figure out what's taken the humans so long. Albert's determined that there's this really detailed tattoo on the thumb and that it's been severed because of the jaggedy edges around it or something like that. So he's like standing there inspecting this thing. The dog sneaks up and grabs a piece of the meat off the top and eats it. So it's going to be a very fun book to read. So I'm looking forward to that. And he's already let the police have already come, and he's let them know that he was a former police chief constable or whatever it was. Whatever rank, it was a high rank. It wasn't one of the, he was what was he? You have to find out. So he's on his tour around the country, and so him and the teenage girl who got left in front of in charge of the store by her mother, they're busy now trying to solve this mystery. And the dog is like, can't these people see that it's from a mechanic's hand? They've got the oil. I can smell the car oil. I can smell the grease. I can smell. And the dog's just going like, these humans, they go about it so hard. So the dogs basically solve the case of where they need to go look to see whose thumb this belongs, to try and find a person this thumb belongs to. So they've got it figured out as somebody who works in a mechanic's workshop or something, just based on the smell. Everybody else is trying to figure it out from the tattoos that's on there, the skin color, anybody reported a thumb missing, things like that. So it's gonna be a fun read. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. But it's kind of cool because I got the Kindle Unlimited for the 30-day trial. And so I'm trying out different book series and stuff. And so the Genealogy, the Maze Investigators, Maze Genealogy Detectives, I think it was. That was a really good book. This one is got some humor to it. So it's a humor mystery one. So I'm looking forward to reading the rest of that one. So I may do some more of that this weekend. What else? That's about it for me. Oh, your question of the day, the Tell Your Story question of the day is, what are some of your favorite weekend memories growing up? So what are some of the things that you remember from antics, vacations, hanging out with friends, whatever it was? What are some of the, what are some of the great memories that you have from your childhood that you did on the weekends? I had a friend who lived close to me, and we both had our bikes, and we used to make our lunch. And in New Zealand, you get the 2-liter ice cream container. It's a square plastic container with a lid that goes on it, and you can wash it out and reuse it afterwards. And we used to make up sandwiches, put them in there. We'd get our drinks and all of that. We'll put them on the back of our bikes, just on the carrier piece there, and we'll go riding off out into the country and all sorts of different places. We'll just go riding around into different places and things. And then we would stop and have our little picnic lunch, and then we'll get back on and ride back home again. And we'd ride for like an hour or two out and then an hour or two back. So we were gone for most of the Saturdays. But those were good rides that we used to do. And did we ride out to, I don't know? Yeah, we did. So the campground that was about 20, 30 minutes from home, we actually rode out there. She came out with me for a weekend with my mum and dad and my brothers in the caravan, and we slept in the car and went fishing and all that. But we would take our bikes, and there was like a couple of little country roads that you could go down. And we went down one country road, and we took discovered blackberries. And so we went back and got a ice cream container, went back and did blackberry picking from the side of the road there, and took them in. So we were able to have blackberries, and I don't even know what we had with the blackberries that night. I think it might have been cream and ice cream. Mum figured it out. So we went out, found the blackberries, and I think we also found raspberries too. There was raspberries. So raspberries and blackberries growing wild on the side of the road. So we just stopped off, picked them, took them back. It was great. It was a good weekend. So I had a lot of great weekends like that where I could go out and ride the bike, and we're talking bicycle, push bike, yes, pedaling on the side of the road. No helmets. Didn't have riding helmets at that point, and we'd just be there cycling along on the side of the road. So we had a lot of fun doing that, riding around the neighborhoods and things on my bike, and with my friend, and we'd go make our picnics and go out for rides and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And then there was like sleepovers at friends' places on weekends, and the fun that you would have with that. I remember one weekend, it was the MASH TV series finale. It was like the final episode it was the final episode. And remember going over to my friend Samantha's house, and we're actually saying she was living with her grandmother at the time, which is just like 4 or 5 doors down the street from her parents' place, because they didn't want the grandmother living by herself. So Sam moved in with them and moved in with her. And we're in this gorgeous Victorian style house. It was great. And so we were laying on the floor, and had pillows there that we could rest on. And we had our bowl of popcorn ready to go, and some homemade truffles that we had made that day, and a box of tissues. I just remember we got everything, and we had our drinks too. We made up some drinks and bottles, and so we could have that to drink on. And we're laying, and we're like getting around with all this, and I don't remember if it was me or Sam that said it, was we got everything, yeah. And one of us went, tissues. And so Sam went and got us some tissues, and we had them because it was going to be a finale, and you knew finales always make you cry, so we were ready. And we needed the tissues at the end of that. But it was a really good finale. So I remember watching the finale of MASH with Sam, and unfortunately she passed away last year, the year before. Oh my gosh, she passed away from cancer, beginning of COVID. Oh, gee, when did she pass? Yeah, it was last year. 2020. She passed away from cancer. So that was unfortunate because she was such an amazing person, and we lost contact over the years, but we hooked up on Facebook. But we had some great weekends together. We had some awesome weekends. She would come stay at my place, I'd go stay at her place, and or I'd go stay up at Linda's place, or Linda would come stay at my place. Remember my 13th birthday party, we had a sleepover in the caravan. I think there was 5 of us out there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we had 5 of us. So I had 4 friends come over and we did a sleepover in the caravan. And my dad comes out at like 1 o'clock in the morning and tells us to shut up and go to sleep. He was not impressed. And then we thought he'd gone back inside. So one of my friends, Maria, she pulls out her flashlight and turns it on. And my dad goes, "Turn that torch off." You come across the backyard. So I hope we didn't disturb the neighbors as well. But it was around that time we shut up and actually went to sleep. And we did get some sleep at that point. But that was for my 13th birthday. So lots of great memories with that sort of stuff. And Cindy Lee's got hanging out at Grandma's and making tamales. How cool is that? Yeah, I loved my hanging out at my grandma's place because we would do biscuits or cookies. We'd make cookies. We'd make peanut biscuits. We'd make hokey pokey biscuits. Would make chocolate chip biscuits, and they were all the lumps. Then you'd get the fork and go, and they had not really a crunchy outside, but it was a little harder on the outside, but inside it was nice and soft. They were perfect. And she's the one that taught me to crack 2 eggs at once. So yes, I learned that with my little hands at the time. I can still do it. It's a skill that I have used many times over the years, except for when I have to separate the eggs. Then it's one at a time. I can't separate 2 eggs at once. So yeah, unless I was separating the eggs, and I got really good at separating eggs. Unless I was separating the eggs, it was 1 in each hand and crack them and put them in the bowl. So little skills that you learn over time. That should be a question. What skills did you learn when you're at Grandma's place? Or, what skills did you get taught outside of school? Like I got taught to crack 2 eggs at one time. What crazies, that would have been, maybe I'll do that question tomorrow. Anyway, okay, that's going to be the question for tomorrow, is what crazy skills, like I picked up the skill of how to crack 2 eggs at once. So what other, and I learned that from my grandmother. So what skills did you pick up outside of school, outside of your home? I did learn how to do timing on an engine. My dad taught me how to do that with the little strobe light thingy. A little strobe light thingy that would go on the fan and the belty thing, and you'd have to do the tension stuff so I learned how to do that. And then there were these little flat things that were on a ring, and they were like spaces for spark plugs. I think it was for the spark plugs, and you'd put them in to see if the space was correct in between, because each one was a different thickness. So yeah, I had fun in the garage with my dad. But what's some of the fun memories you remember from as a kid when you hung out with your friends on the weekend and stuff like that? What crazy skills did you pick up from people as you grew up through life? But anyway, I could spend a lot of time going down memory lane, but it's time to go because of DOG and he wants to go for a WALK. Yes, I'm getting glared at. Anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling rest of your Friday evening. I was telling you about the story about I so totally got sidetracked. Oh my gosh, huge squirrel moment. I was telling you about last night and how it got done so late last night. Part 2 of yesterday got done so late. So I sat down, ate my dinner. Yeah. So I, had my little journal was sitting here to remind me that I had to do my second part 2 last night. And I come with my dinner and I moved the journal out of the way, put the dinner down, and ate my dinner, finished reading the book. That's where we got stuck. Finished reading the book I was reading, then got up, did the dishes. By that stage, it was like around 9 o'clock. And so I went and sat down and watched Family Secrets Revealed, which is the British version of Genealogy Roadshow, of the PBS version of Genealogy Roadshow. I don't know who did who's first. Don't know, don't care. And so I watched that, and it was like, I'm going to go to bed. And so I got up, came over here to sit down and do my nightly journaling and devotions and stuff like that. Got all that done, and then I was mucking around on Facebook a little bit and running around on Facebook, and I still haven't done my live. You'd think that would trigger it, right? No, we're talking dead brain cells at this point. And got up and did a couple of other things. And then I thought, oh, so I went and got changed into my PJs and went to the bathroom. And I'm standing there. It's like 11:30 at night, right? And I'm standing there and I'm brushing my teeth. And all of a sudden I'm like, did I do my Facebook Live today? My second Facebook Live for the day? Yeah, I did that one. Got back. No, I don't think I did it. And I'm like going through this whole conversation in my head. Like, did I do it? Well, you did it here. No, I was going to do it after the walk. Did I do it after the walk? Well, we came home and then I was going through what I had done. And so I got home and I went, hey, and then all of a sudden you get that horrible feeling come over you like, oh, crap. So finished my teeth, came out, picked up my phone because the internet was closed off at that point. I'd shut the internet down. The computers were shut off. And I get on my thing and I'm like going through and I'm like, there's no live here. There's no live. Oh my gosh, when I get to my profile, I'm like going down my profile. Nope, there's no. Oh my gosh, I forgot part 2. And so I'm like quickly type what, where am I up to? I'm pulling up my notebook. I'm typing it all in and all that. And I look at the clock and it's 11:52. And I'm like, I've got to get it in before midnight because it won't count. If I start it after midnight, it is not going to count. And I'm going to ruin 757 days of doing Facebook Lives. So I'm like, then I'd have to start at 1 tomorrow and I don't want to do that. So 11:52 last night we got part 2 of the live done. And I have a friend who lives on the East Coast. She said, I got up like around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and what were you doing your live for at that hour? So I told her and she had a good laugh about that one. So yes, I almost screwed up 757 days of consistently doing Facebook Lives every single day for 757 days. I was this close. I was 8 minutes from screwing that up. So I'm glad I realized in time to get on there and get it done. So part 2 is now in the books for day 758. We are out of here. Got to go walk the dog. Not even a twitch. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning bright and early for Shake It Up Saturday. Hey, konera.